Welcome everyone, my name is Aenne and it's time to journey into the Book of Travels, an upcoming TMORPG releasing in early access soon. Book of Travels will be releasing in early access on August 9th, 2021, and believe it when I say that I have mostly stayed away from updates until recently. For Witchbrook, I am not shying away from any information that I can find. In spirit of an online RPG, I feel like it's best to keep things wrapped up until such a time it entered early access. We are less than a month away from early access, and it's the right time to start filling up my backpack with information on this game for this comfy preview. Before we continue, please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Before we officially start to explore this game, TMORPG should be explained. The T stands for tiny. Yes, this is a tiny multiplayer online role-playing game. The servers will not be filled with other players and be surrounded by them as you make your way through the braided shores. For those of you who do not enjoy crowdedness, this game may help you with this feeling. It is also called a TMO, Tiny Multiplayer Online. Now let me give you a little bit of insight as to how I came to the Book of Travels Kickstarter. I started to play Meadow, another title from Might and Delight, a few months before the Kickstarter appeared. Meadow's experience of communicating without words and forming pacts with other players you never met before to run in open fields and different biodomes relaxed me. It was fun trying to find my friends because we were always running off independently. Back then, my inclination was not to back games on Kickstarter, yet the Metal gameplay and the description of wanting to create a different type of RPG where there was no path to follow but one of your choosing into a peaceful world, well, how can I not back such a game? Also, I play RPGs and MMOs still to this day, and I love them, and a new take on the genre is most welcome to add to my list of games. This game will feature no text chat, a unique take on MMOs when the first thought is that chat to converse with other members on the server. Metal has the same communication style. The way you communicate via emotes and symbols are only available once you experience them. Oddly enough, as someone who focuses on communications with others, this excites me as it did in Meadow. I love to be in the presence of others, and I don't want to always be verbal or textualize words when I'm mentally recharging myself, but I still want to be socially connected. That is comfortable to me. In this game, you will learn how to communicate and convey words and actions to others you happen to stumble upon. Remember, this is a TMO and you may not meet with anyone as you travel. Hopefully, you can group up with your friends via a friend list function that fits in this world that Might and Delight creates. Book of Travels takes place on a continent called Braided Shore. The early access is called Chapter 0 and the parts of the continent will be open to exploring. As early access continues, more areas will become available to explore that provide more lore elements, levels, and adventure. It appears you will start in Casa, a city south of the Braided Shore and is known as a trading city. This information is brief, but I believe it is best to leave it there until I play it. How comfortable will this game be to play? Everyone's level of what is comfortable is different, but since this game is called serene, collaborative, and friendly, the chances are high. There's a comfort to freedom and choices without light posts on where to go next. Others may not find comfort in a non-structured world. This game will not force anyone into a linear road. Your choices, your path, your way of immersing yourself in this world. There is no good or evil. You can engage in contact and may be rewarding or a lesson. Something as small as walking will still gain you experience in this world. Our experiences may not be the same. It may be wildly different from each other, but we will have a tale to share and emotes with one another. Endless possibilities. This game is akin to D&D except for the combat focus. Our choices and our defeats and our moments in a hand-painted world with 2D and 3D elements. It is surreal at times, and it may be overwhelming to some of you. Creative souls may thrive in Braided Shore. Based on the last gameplay footage released late last year, this game focuses on a life simulator set in a fantasy world. Yes, it is still an RPG, but the life simulator part is clear from the character creation shown. This reason is why it shares similarities with D&D. The game's character creation builds a persona for you to walk the Braided Shore. Essentially, you create a traveler based on a set of rules, lore, structures, and release to explore this world with a collection of parameters you decide to roleplay. There is no wrong way to play this game, only what you hope to achieve with your created character. Might and Delight have never described Book of Travels this way, but it is an excellent analogy to explain how this game will play out long term. Your character creation is your character guide, and you are free to travel the world. You decide to engage in combat or peacefully walk away. You learn about a world that is filled with rich lore as you move across it. It can be said that you may not be able to interact with everything. There is a good chance you will be able to interact with objects that serve even a tiny snippet into this vast world. Now, no matter how small or large, it will impact you whether in game or mentally. Nothing is small, and it will affect you in some way, good or bad. This world will move you. It is always comfortable to share stories with each other. Storytelling has always existed from oral to written to videos. Now, you may want to keep the experience with yourself, but this game may also encourage Braided Shore travelers to share their accounts to see if the experiences are the same or different. The life simmer in me views the game in a simulation. You're writing your own simulation on how you want to play and interact with the world. More so, a fantasy simulation, as you are invited to create a new character within the predefined structure of this world by Might and Delight. In some ways, Might and Delight are the dungeon masters or world masters crafting this world for us to live in. There is no right or wrong way to play the game. That is a hallmark of a life simulator game. Play the game how you want to and enjoy it. They will be releasing Chapter 1 as early access, and based on our feedback, Might and Delight will move to Chapter 1 with our travels in mind to craft that experience. The players will play an essential role in how the game moves forward. You are leaving an impact and will shape the world. Overall, I think this game will be comfortable and meet the criteria for a comfy gaming experience. You do have choices. You are able to go about your ways, within the structures of this world on the Braided Shore. Otherwise, some of you may not like the unknown, and that may not make it comfortable to you. It's not like Stardew or my time at Portia, where you always have a home base. You may not have a home base here. You may be moving about, so that may not be comfortable for you. But, I do believe it is something to look at, especially if you need something new and different, and that's ever evolving right now while it's in early access. And as to each chapter, based on how Might and Delight wants to craft a world based on our previous experiences to move to each chapter. Again, this game will release on early access on Steam on August the 9th of 2021. What are your thoughts? Do you plan on playing during the early access as well? Please let me know in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in our next comfy journey.